Hello and good day, strong art friend. In this video, we're going to collage a shape composition on a black background. Materials are linked in the description below, so grab what you need and let's get started. A few notes before we begin. Number 1, I started this project by painting a warm color background that I'd use to cut out my shapes. You can paint or color any type of background you want. If paint is too messy or unavailable to you, try coloring a background with crayons, markers, color pencils, anything you have available. Feel free to use plain white paper too. Anything will stand out on a black background. Note number 2, I will be using this hexagon shape puncher to punch out my shapes. I got it on Amazon and I've linked it in the description below. You can get any shape puncher you want. Mine is roughly 1 inch wide. You can go bigger. I don't recommend going smaller because tiny shapes are really annoying to glue. If buying one of these tools is not an option for you, here's an alternative solution. You'll need scissors and paper strips. I cut these strips into about 1.5 inches just so I have some variety and they won't be too small. These strips can be cut into 3 or 4 shapes really easily. Just snip, snip, snip. The first and easiest shape is a rectangle. Snip, snip. Dunzo. If you want something slightly fancier than a rectangle, cut 2 opposing diagonal edges, one on this side, flip it, one on that side, and now you've got a cute little trapezoid. Now, if you're super meticulous, have great attention to detail, you can measure out or eyeball some squares. And if you want something different than a 4-sided polygon, chop that on the diagonal. You've got yourself some triangles. Whatever you do, don't take a regular hole puncher that's used for punching holes in paper to put inside binders and punch out a million tiny circles. They will be a nightmare to glue down. Those are my notes for now. Let's build some art muscles. The steps of this project are super simple. You're going to start by taking whatever background you're using for your shapes and cut out as many of those shapes as you can. It's better to have too many than too few. The next part of this lesson is pretty free-flowing. You get to design the layout, also known as the composition, of your collage. There are no rules here. I just suggest you think about positive and negative space, the subject and the background of your piece. Is it going to be crowded or spread out? Will you make a symmetrical or asymmetrical composition, a composition that's the same on both sides or varies throughout? There's no wrong answer. Try out a few different layouts, and when something feels right, glue it down. I want you to notice a few things about the way I glue. First, I'm making sure I get the edges well saturated. This is why I like purple glue. I can see when I've missed a spot. 2, I always put a scrap piece of paper over my shape and then massage with decent pressure into the background. This keeps my fingers from getting super gluey because sticky fingers get real annoying really quick when you're collaging a bunch of shapes. This is a very process-based lesson. It's meant to help you be intentional with the way you design a composition. Using geometric shapes keeps everything low risk and low pressure. Before you focus on highly detailed or realistic subject matter, it's a good idea to have a basic understanding of space and layout, your composition. When you're done, you can cut any overhanging shapes off, or don't. Let that be a message that you and your process don't fit inside a box. I loved making this simple yet elegant collage. I hope you enjoyed the process too and are learning how awesome shapes can be used in a variety of different ways. In the next lesson, we're going to make another shape collage. But instead of using clean-cut geometric shapes to make a very precise design, we're going to rip organic shapes from a larger piece of paper, glue them to an entire page, and then spatter the entire thing with paint. The lesson has a very abstract, expressionist, Jackson Pollock type of feel. It's dope. Until then, happy creating.